All right, so this is another bad movie review. This is going to be on Medea's Destination Wedding. It's the Medea movie from last year on Netflix. Obviously, Tyler Perry's movies go on Netflix now, and obviously written and directed by Tyler Perry. I I heard this movie is really bad, um, but I didn't get the chance to look at it last year. But I did want to review it at some point because even though these movies are lazy, I don't like Tyler Perry's movies. Whatever, I've said it enough times. This movie has an added level of shamelessness to it that I was like, man, I have to review this at some point. So in this, we have Brian, played by Tyler Perry, that is Joe's son and Medea's nephew. Medea and Joe, once again, also played by Tyler Perry. So he's having issues. He has these two kids. One's BJ, played by Jermaine Harris, and one's Tiffany, played by Diamond White. BJ, he's 19 and acts like he's a little kid still. The coloring books, Paw Patrol coloring books, and stuff like that. I mean, for really no reason other than I guess Tyler Perry's hoping that you find it funny. And then we have Tiffany. I believe in the earlier movies or Boo movies or whatever, I haven't seen those, that she was like disrespectful or whatever, but that's not really a thing here. She wants to introduce her boyfriend to her dad, to Brian. And turns out they're getting married in 2 weeks. And he's like, "Why are you rushing? What's going on?" He doesn't really like the guy because he's kind of rude. Right? He's like, "Oh, what up, my nigga?" And stuff like that, talking in a way you would not talk to your fiance's uh, father, especially the first time meeting him. It's a bad first impression. Brian doesn't like him. He's freaking out that it's happening, thinking that she's making a mistake and all that. He's the DA. He can look up the guy's record, obviously, but he doesn't see anything on it. Yeah, even though the guy has a teardrop on his face, but whatever. But anyway, he thinks she's rushing into it. Whatever. The wedding is going to be a destination wedding where it's going to be in the Bahamas. And so, Medea and the rest of them are also invited, but they got to get passports before they can go and things like that. So, this is not a movie. It is absolutely shameless. I don't know how he gets away with this kind of stuff, especially when he stoops this low, but we'll get to that stuff. As far as performances, the people who, reprise their roles or doing the roles that they've done before. We got and Bam, that's Cassie Davis again. That's, Mr. Brown, that's David Mann, Cora. Timela Man, obviously Tyler Perry's playing Medea, Joe, Ryan. They're good, right? They've been playing these characters for years. They know how to play them. Even though the characters are annoying, well, I don't like them. They get on my nerves. They play them well. So I'll give them that. I did not think that specifically the actress that played Tiffany, and then this actor that plays the fiance in this, the fiance Xavier. He's played by Xavier Smalls. I didn't think he was good at all. I thought he was probably the worst person in this. But as far as the people who have done this for years, they're still good. So this is that's it, man. Like this is not a movie. Obviously, it's thrown together. Obviously, it's lazy, like his movies usually are. But it has that added level of oh, we're pulling an Adam Sandler, right? And you just wanted to go on vacation, and this is a justification for you doing that. But then also, this movie is a very obvious ad for this hotel, Atlantis in the Bahamas. It's so fucking obvious. It is so obvious. I mean, Tyler, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? You got them in the casino. You got them at the buffet. They're going down the slide, and Mr. Brown doesn't want to go down the slide. And the way that he's able to, finally do it when he finally decides to do it is when BJ passes him the GoPro, so we can see it from his point of view. It's like, come on, what is this?
That was excitement. B. You'll be fine. Trust me. Look, take the GoPro and you can go down.
The stuff with the hotel is so shameless. But before we get to that, obviously we got a normal Tyler Perry laziness. It starts off with Medea and Cora and Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown's wearing colorful outfits, obviously, because that's supposed to be funny even after all these years of that same joke. Medea, is saying some other stuff too. They're going to the store. They just went to the store, and Cora's like, "Why do you go at this time of night? It's a dangerous neighborhood." And she wants to. Medea doesn't want to be there when it's a bunch of elderly people. And Cora's like, "You are elderly," and they go back and forth. But they decide to go get gas. Medea's like, oh, Cora, go put money on the gas. And Cora's like, I'm only putting in $2. I'm like, $2 ain't gonna get you nothing. You might as well even put gas in that thing. But she goes to do that. And then Medea, these guys come to like steal her car, and she starts spraying them with gasoline, and like they start to drive off. So she sets it on fire and everything. And I'm like, what is this? It has nothing to do with what little plot we have here. Like it could be at the beginning of any Medea movie. It's like, oh, we just want to start with Medea hijinks. It's not funny. It felt like rather random, and they just drive off. It's like, okay, I thought you needed gas. I mean, you weren't getting much gas with $2 anyway, but I thought you needed gas. They're just gonna drive off without getting gas. All right. Then we get the dinner scene where, Brian meets Xavier, the fiance, and he's talking to him, kind of crazy and stuff like that, talking about, oh, we want your blessing. She says, we want your blessing. He's like, we don't need it, but what she wants it, or something like that. He's just being kind of rude, and I'm like, oh, of course Brian doesn't like him. I mean, would anybody at this point? Like, why is he acting like this? And then so we get after that we get Brian talking to Medea and Joe, and they're doing their same little thing or whatever, talking about, oh, you should have beat those kids and da da da. And he's like, oh, I didn't want to beat my kids. I don't want to be constantly beating them like you beat me and stuff like that. And, they're old school, so they're all about beat the kids, beat the kids, beat the kids, and all that. you know, yeah, that hasn't gotten old yet somehow. I guess it's the same old shit as always. But then we get them, they're playing a card game or whatever. And Xavier comes, Tiffany brings Xavier to meet Medea and them too, and also to invite them to the wedding. And they're like trying to talk to him, like trying to have conversation with him, and he just doesn't want to talk to them and things like that. It's like, why is he acting like this towards, her family? It's like, does he not actually like her? Like, what's really going on here?
What's your name again?
Z.
Oh, okay, Z. What tell us something about yourself?
No, I'm not gonna do that.
What? Wait a minute.
But anyway, they get invited to the wedding, and it's going to be a destination wedding. It's going to be in the Bahamas, so Medea and them have to get a passport, even though Medea, may not be able to get one because of her criminal past, criminal activities. So this is the point where I was like, okay, we're clearly padding this movie because we don't really have much going on, right? There's a lot of sitting around and talking, saying a bunch of stuff that's annoying and not funny at all. But I mean, that happens in these movies. But as I was watching this, I was thinking to myself, why are we seeing them get the passports? Like, we actually see them there and their names get called out and they get the passports. I was like, okay, we don't need this scene, right? Like, it's questionable how Medea would get her passport, but whatever. We can skip that. We don't need to see that, right? Just have them either in the Bahamas or on the plane on the way, right? We don't need to see them get the passport, but we get to see them getting the passport. It's really annoying because Medea's name keeps getting called, and Cora's like, "Hey, go up there," and she just won't go, and they just go back and forth about that for a while. She's afraid she's gonna get arrested because the lady came out in handcuffs, so she's scared.
Go, where did they go? That's your dad. Here she is. Go.
Carl, if you don't get your damn hands off me, I'm gonna punch you in the damn of your Adam's apple.
But don't hit me. But they calling you. Got
Maybe
one,
they giving
too.
away flat screen TV.
You got one too.
She gets to the point where she runs out. Like, when she tries to run out, she runs through some glass, and the lady's like, "Hey, are you okay? Here's your passport." So she ended up getting her passport. Then this is the point where I was like, "Okay, yeah, you really don't have much going on here," because then we get to see them, going at it and saying a bunch of stuff or whatever, like they usually do. We get to see them doing that in the airport when they're about to get on the plane. Then we get a scene of them getting onto the plane and getting upset that Brian didn't get them first class seats. It's like, of course he didn't. Right? It's a questionable whether he was even going to be able to pay for all this stuff. He got guilted into it, right? Obviously, he's the father of the bride, so he's supposed to pay. But like, she has a rich husband, the ex-wife, so she's like, "Oh, I'll pay for it," and his ego got in the way. He's like, "No, I'll pay for everything. I'm paying for it." Dumbass. Like the whole time, Joe was like, "Don't fall for it," and he still did. But obviously, he was not going to get you guys first class. Like, that's nonsense. And so they're complaining about that for a little while. And then we get to see them actually, on the plane as the plane's flying, and BJ is coloring, And they're like, this boy coloring, um, and they're like, oh well, adults color, and they're like, no, that's Paw Patrol. I'm like, man, this is, he's listening to Beethoven, and Joe's like, no, listen to this Young Thug. I'm sure it's not an actual Young Thug song, but it's like pussy, 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 and he's like, oh, they're saying the p word. It's like nothing with that character is funny. It's like, okay, we have this character, we got to give him something, some kind of quirk or something like that. Oh, he's 19 and acts like he's a child, like a young child. Like, okay, surely you could have cut out them getting in, like actually getting into the plane and arguing about the seats. Like clearly you could have cut out something there. And obviously these are public spaces. They're constantly in public spaces, just being complete fools, right? Just complete nonsense. If you were anywhere near them, you'd be like, please, can y'all shut the fuck up? Like, I don't care if you're all old at this point. Shut up.
Is there a problem?
Yeah, that problem. What the hell, we all supposed to be sitting back here in this damn car?
Trying to sit on this damn airplane.
Can everybody sit down, please? Thank you. We're sorry. We're sorry. It's my family.
Then they get to the actual hotel, and they're about to check in. Brian only got 2 rooms for all of them, right? Because he's trying to save money. And the ex-wife comes and she's like, "Oh no, I already got rooms, because I figured he was gonna do something like that, who couldn't afford it. Oh, I already got rooms, reserved for you guys, and I also, got him a discount. He's gonna get it for half off." And this is the point where I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's what this is." Right? The way that like they're talking to the lady at the desk, and Medea's like, "Oh, I want Atlanta." And she's like, "No, this is Atlantis. But I will make sure that we are making you really comfortable, accommodating you." I was like, this is like a commercial. Like this is a commercial for this hotel with Medea in it. It was like, man, it was so obvious. So they get to the room, right? The Brian's ex-wife, she doesn't have like any like fondness really for Medea, and they're not really close like that. They say that, but she made sure Medea got this really, really nice suite, like really nice, and she has to run down how nice the suite is. You even get shots of the bathroom, not with any of the characters in it, the bathroom and everything, the view. I'm like, whoa, shit, this is a fucking commercial basically for the hotel. Right? They go into other aspects of the hotel. You get to see there's like a scuba diver with the fish and everything. They go to the buffet. Oh, you got way too much food. Obviously, nobody just stands there in a buffet, just stands there next to the food with their plate in their hand, just having full on conversations with each other. It's like nobody does that, but they have to do that. And they have to go on and on and on and on and on. We see Joe. He's gambling. He's at the casino, and the whole thing is they keep charging everything to the room. So Brian will end up having a huge bill when this is all over, and he's gonna freak out. Casino, getting the food. They also go down the slide, and we get the whole thing where Mr. Brown, oh, I ain't going down there. I'm scared. That somebody peed. She peed in that, and BJ's like, no, 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 just go down and here, take the GoPro and go down the slide so we can see it from your point of view. It's like, wow. Um, so while this is all happening, right, they bicker in different locations. You get to see them running up a huge tab and stuff like that. There's multiple scenes where you see Medea and them questioning Tiffany, like, "Hey, why are you rushing into this? Why do you want to do this, so quick and everything? Why aren't you taking your time with it?" And Tiffany seems like, "Oh no, I really want to do this or whatever." And then they question her with the mom there, and the mom. That's when you really see like, okay, the mom is really pushing for it.
Young people say ain't getting no older.
say this.
Ain't getting no
We're not
older.
getting any.
I know what she said, but what do you think?
This is the right thing.
I'm thinking to myself, okay, you're really setting something up with the wife that she's pushing this marriage. What's the reason? Okay, there has to be a reason. It's going to get revealed at some point. But at that point, we get the bachelor party. Xavier, even though he was rude before, he's kind of somewhat cool with them now, or at least some of them. He's thinking about inviting Brian to the bachelor party. Tiffany told him to do it, but they end up not doing that. But Joe does go, and then they also tell BJ, "Oh yeah, you come with us. We're gonna play pin the tail on the donkey." And he's like, "Pin the tail on the donkey. That sounds so fun." So he runs to go. Um, so he runs to go uh, get ready and everything. But then he's not at the bachelor party, right? It's Mr. Brown that's there and sees all that ass, and he's like, oh, and he's like throwing water on him like it's holy water. But it's not the son. The son's not there. It's like, why not? You were clearly setting that up for him to see the women there and be like, oh no, and be scared of the ass. But he's not there. That was so weird. I didn't get that. The son is not even in the movie really for the rest of it up until the wedding. But we have the whole thing with the bachelor party, and so we get the kind of two things going on here. We get the reveal where up to this point I've been wondering. I was like, where's the husband? Where's the rich husband? Because apparently she she has this rich husband that has all this money. Like, where's he at? Wouldn't he come to the wedding? And so we have this awkward scene where you have this guy. You have Bam, Cora, and Medea, and I believe they were gambling. They were at a table gambling, and Bam's like, shh. And there's a guy talking. He's on the phone. He's like, "Oh, I know we're getting a divorce or whatever, but I said I would give you your son $1 million when he got into college, and your daughter $1 million when she got married." Turns out that's the husband. Just so forced that he would just be standing there awkwardly talking, like talking real loud, standing next to their table. Just happens to be right there next to them. And so now they know why the mom is pushing for the marriage. It's because she wants, the daughter to get that $1 million from him. Now that happens, and then also Brian, he's walking and he sees Xavier talking to an older woman, talking about, oh, we should talk about this back at your room and stuff like that. So he immediately assumes that Xavier's cheating on Tiffany, and everybody else gets there too, and they're talking about the whole thing that they heard from the husband, and like pretty much everything gets revealed, and it's real convenient. Everybody just all converges at this one spot, so this happens. um Tiffany also assumes that Xavier was cheating with this lady, and so she calls off the wedding and everything. I mean, that's the thing, they call this woman a hoe. I mean, just completely bash her and things like that, say all this, like that they're cheating, that he's cheating with her and stuff like that, and she doesn't say anything. She doesn't speak up at all, say what's really going on. It's really weird. It's because they're holding that reveal for later, because Xavier actually talks to Brian later with her there, and she actually reveals that that's actually Xavier's mom. And because they have like a bad relationship, he didn't invite her to the wedding, but she wanted to go, so she just came anyway. All that time you could have just said, "Hey, there was no cheating going on. There was no cheating going on. This is my son," or whatever. You got them calling you all kinds of names, and you just let them believe that and let the the wedding get called off instead of just being like, "Hey, that's my son." It's ridiculous and forced. But Xavier kind of wins Brian over. He's like, "Oh, your daughter, she changed me for the better," and things like that. I really want her. I'm a good guy. And so he's like, "I still think she's making a bad decision, but you get my blessing, whatever." And so they have the wedding. Brian's trying to like hurry the wedding up and everything, because he wants to see that bill and all that. So then he goes to the front desk. He sees the bill, and it's like a whole packet. Right? They've just been charging everything to the room. I mean, they've been Medea bought a dress, like four of the same dress, so she could sew them together because it doesn't fit. It's too the dress is too small for her. Cora, I think she got like some $2,000 glasses or something like that. They were at the casino gambling. Obviously, Joe gambled a lot. And they also like they went down a slide a good number of times. I was like, you get charged every time you go down the slide? I've never heard of that before, but that's part of it. I mean, it's just a whole montage of just showing just how much money they've just ran up to the point where I was like, I thought they were only there for 2 days. How did they even have enough time to do all this? It's like at some point you see like Mr. Brown, he's on a boat and everything. I'm like, when did he do that? I was like, wow. It feels like we want one last montage to be like, hey, look at all this stuff they did. But anyway, Brian passes out because he's like, oh, I gotta pay all that money. Thrown together, badly written and lazy, as Tyler Perry's known to do. Unfunny, obnoxious, especially when they just start going and going, because that's most of the movie. They're in a they're in this location, they're going and going and going and going and going, Medea, and then they're in the next location, going and going and going, talking, 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 talking. None of it's funny. The same shtick you've seen for years. That's stale and unfunny. But it's that extra added level of shit that it's like, wow, Wow, you basically just made a commercial for this hotel, right? With the not even that much of a disguise of a movie while you're doing that. But whatever. I'm giving this complete shit. That's Medea's destination wedding. He can't keep getting away with this, especially when he does like just honestly despicable stuff like this. Like I cannot believe that he has stooped this low. But yeah, complete shit, like I said. That's it. We're done.